My name is Leonard Soosay. I've been a music producer for the past 15 years, and I've actually produced, recorded and mixed quite a number of Singapore bands.
Hi, I'm Mike C. I am the manager of the Great Spy Experiment. I have been doing this for the last 6 years now.
So far, like it's all been very independent. The scene has been very underground, and it's people like Mike who are actually pushing it forward, like trying to get the bands overseas, trying to get more shows for the bands in different countries, so that the music can spread out. Because if we keep it all in Singapore, it's not going to go anywhere. The furthest you can go is probably play NDP and then that's it. I mean, and then that's the highest point. But there are people out there, in the rest of the world that really enjoy listening to what we have to offer, and we should actually take it further. But we need government help, we need corporate help, and we need a lot of funding for this to happen.
From the content perspective, I think we have good content here. So we have good musicians writing good songs. Just there's not enough platform and sort of avenues for them to go to help them bring this forward. And that is why I'm doing what I'm doing today. And not just me, I think there's a lot of other people that we really should take note of also with the contributions, like Kitty Wu, like Aging Youth, like What Wake Me Up used to do is quite sad that they closed down recently. And other independent bodies as well. And I think it's important, now that we have the content, there needs to be a momentum. You need to keep things moving and going on, which is why for Great Spy, it's been so many years and we didn't give up, or we're still not giving up, because if we don't do it, then all the efforts that we're putting in the last few years will just go to show to everyone that even for one of the, we are often referred to as one of the top independent bands in Singapore. Even if for us, if we can't bring it to the next level, then what is it showing to the rest of the people out there in the next generation?
Last time when I first started out, I used to go to radio stations, the ones in Singapore, and I tried to get them to play local music. It was almost close to impossible, to the point where, like a lot of times I'd argue until we almost fight. And I almost gave up, but then Electrical went to #1 with I Want You on radio, and then that opened the door and paved the way for a lot of local music to be played on radio. You see, because they said that Singaporeans don't want to listen to local music, but the fact that a Singapore song could go to #1, prove all the radio stations wrong, prove all the programming directors wrong, that it was possible, that we have the talent and we could do it. So I guess that would be the finest achievement, because it started the whole scene from there.
I've done Bay Beats judging and mentoring the last 2 years, which has been very helpful for me as a manager, to know what's going on out there beyond Great Spy. And my observation is this: I think there's a lot of good content, as I said earlier, but there's also a lot of poor attitude towards music in Singapore. I think there's a lot of musicians who get into a mode of self-entitlement. There's this sense of entitlement that I play good music, people should like me, and I think the attitude needs to be worked on as well from the musician's point of view. It is a hard industry, there needs to be a lot of hard work put into it before you can start to see the returns. And I think that is something that musicians need to be very conscious of in Singapore, because of the fact that we do not have an industry, so to speak, yet. They need to be part of that pioneer group and put in their best to bring this to something more formalized next time.
Because most times, right, when you have international musicians playing, say, a music festival here, they are the top draw. They are the ones who actually sold the tickets, And organizers usually see this as You know, that's the main attraction. So you know, why don't we just put a few local bands to, you know, just for, you know, like to show our support, or sometimes maybe like, you know, they're forced to do it. I mean, for them, I mean, it's a win-win situation because they get to put a local band there, they get, you know, the international acts playing to the big audience. But for the bands, it's really tough because many times we've actually played in Singapore festivals where you know, I'm getting ready, the band is getting ready, Great Spy is getting ready, and there's no time because the international bands take a longer time to do sound check. And the only time that's available is when they open the gate. So the band has to really go up, set up like within 5 minutes, and then, you know, you have people shouting at you, hey, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. They're not going to sound really good because there's no proper sound check. And then people who come in, they'll say, you know why you sound like shit, or, you know, they'll say, yeah, Singapore bands cannot make it, you know. And, you know, if given the right opportunity, then, you know, we won't be facing these problems.
To be fair, there were times where we felt like we were treated equally with the international acts, but unfortunately those times are rare, you know. More often than not, we do feel slighted, you know, and sometimes, like what Leonard said, you almost feel that they invited you because they have to, rather than they want to.
Playing overseas is a different story because, you know, every band is given an equal opportunity, equal time to do sound check, and that's where actually, you know, we have seen like Singapore bands shine because, you know, if you're really prepared for it, you know, there's the chances of making mistakes or chances of screwing up is less. I mean, there's so much to be done. I mean, we still have not put a Singapore artist on the international map where everyone in the world knows that artist, and it will take some time, a lot of funding, a lot of help, and, you know, until that day happens, I will still strive. I will still, you know, like not give up and try and make that happen.
In the last few years, people have been asking, why are you not working with any other bands apart from Great Spy, because you've done such a good job with them? And I go, it's not so much about the music alone, because there are good music out there, but I need to see the longevity also, and the longevity meaning whether or not this band will go on for the next 5 years.
A lot of commitment involved.
Yeah, because there's a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifices, as we talked about earlier. And sometimes knowing the band after 2 or 3 meetings, you kind of get a sense that, back to what I said about the attitude being, we'll just try very hard for these 2 years and hopefully someone will come with a deal. And I don't see them being able to put their heart and soul into something and know that it's a very long journey, you know, and a hard one as well. And that's why I worked so long with Great Spy, because like I said, after 6 years we are still doing this and we are still trying to... one of our mission statements is to change the face of Singapore music, and that's what we are still trying to do.